You're listening to another Geek Pride podcast.
Hi everybody, Matt Geary for the Geek Pride cast here on this Tuesday evening for a Game of Thrones special. No Dave tonight, but we are joined by two Game of Thrones aficionados, two of my Game of Thrones and Geek Pride colleagues, Joshua Varney.
Hello.
And Mark Canty.
Evening.
Right, Mark, how's things? Haven't talked to you for a while.
Well, you know, work, life.
Work,
reading
life.
too much. Work.
Yeah.
More work.
How did the 40k list go the other day?
Not bad, actually. I still got my backside kicked, but that's what you get for fighting against custodies these days, I think.
Hey, man, I came second. I played a 40k tournament at the weekend.
Saw that.
And I came second out of 34. Wasn't expecting it. And I was sort of half Space Wolves, half Ad Mech. So, yeah, I was quite impressed with that. So, yeah.
Are you supposed to look bewildered when you pick up the trophy, or are you supposed to look confident?
I was like, is this meant to have happened? Because I lost my middle game, my second game out of the third. I tabled two guys twice. I tabled two of my opponents. The second guy was 23 points to 26. And it was very close. But I think because I had a painted army and he didn't, it's sort of because they had to give you points for painted things and stuff. So yeah, came second. So that was brilliant. Okay, so Josh or Mark, give us a quick rundown on what's going on while I do some quick sharing and stuff.
Well, SummerSlam was on Sunday. Stayed up till 4 a.m. to watch that. Thank you very much, WWE Network. Lost 30 quid on that. Not complaining. It was a hell of a good night.
What did you bet? What did you bet on?
Who would win the main event between the Fatal 4-Way?
Surely that, because it's obviously, you know, I don't want to, what's the word? I don't want to sort of kind of break it to you, but you do know that it's all rigged, and it's like...
Yeah, it's all fucking rigged, and yet you paint little miniatures and go to war.
No, that's fine. No, I have no problem. I used to watch wrestling all the time. Like, I used to love it when I was younger. I was a Bret the Hitman Hart sort of guy, but...
I still am.
Yeah, I just, it's just more the fact if you're betting on something that's already been decided who's going to win, it's sort of...
Yeah, but we're the ones who don't fucking know who's going to win. That's the whole point of the bet. It's like, ooh, let's see how the script plays out.
Right, I see. Okay, and who did win?
Brock fucking Lesnar, even though he's supposed to be going back to the UFC, I thought, he's bound to lose the belt, because obviously if he's got to go back to the UFC, somebody else will win, but no.
I thought he had, like, a major intestinal issue or something going on.
He still does, yes. He can't take too many gut shots, otherwise he kind of folds really easily, yet on Sunday night, that man took so many spears to the gut. How he was able to stand up without shitting himself, I don't know.
That's an image and a half.
It was just phenomenal, and I watched it for the Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor match, because Finn Balor's kind of been out of action since the last SummerSlam with a shoulder injury, so it was good to actually see him back in the ring as the Demon King against Bray Wyatt, who's just a walking dreadlock. Beast of a man. Makes, Orvis look like a really, really small Smurf.
Brilliant. Berthby, I'm just going to try and get us onto our chat thing here. We had a guy called Chad saying hello to us there, so hi Chad. Hopefully
Chad.
This will
Hey,
work.
chat on chat.
Chat on chat. .uk. Okay. All right. So, chaps, Game of Thrones. All I want to say is I wrote the frickin' script.
Yeah, screw you.
I wrote that script, like literally page by page. I should have leaked that shit. I was so accurate. It should have people should have just come to me and go, Matt, what's going to happen in the next episode? And I would have leaked that shit to them because I was like literally bang on, note for note, perfect on that shit.
You had a lucky break. You know you had a lucky break. We all know you had a lucky break. It was a fucking lucky break.
Come on, it wasn't lucky. It was
come on.
pure skill. It was like my knowledge of everything that was going on, and sort of like, knowing the history and being a super nerd and being like totally into my Game of Thrones, like zoned into that shit.
You Wikipedia'd it, didn't you?
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
Yeah,
it was all Wikipedia.
Yeah, but come on, let's talk about the last ending scene. As soon as the eye opened and you see that beautiful blue eye, the first thing that came to mind was, it's time.
What?
You know when you see the blue eyes in the dragon. Your Yu-Gi-Oh fans going nuts. Trust me.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think I skipped that one.
Yeah.
Well, there's loads of talk going on at the moment about two scenes. Obviously, the dragon's eyes opening, and then a certain pommel of a sword.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I didn't notice the pommel thing. So explain what happened, because I didn't see it.
Basically, Longclaw is on the ice as John's under the water, and as soon as his gloved, wet hand kind of reaches out and slams on top of the ice, the eye on the wolf's head opens.
Does it actually open, or can you
It does. There's a slow-mo clip of it on YouTube where it does actually look like the eye opened.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, what do you think that signifies?
Well, the title of the last episode is called The Dragon and the Wolf, so you can't really read much into the pommel because it was a bear and he carved it into a wolf, so who knows what it signifies?
Well, the thing is, it's Valerian steel, isn't it? So,
yes.
It's obviously imbued with some sort of, ancient power that they don't understand yet. I have to say, as much as I enjoyed the episode and I wrote the script,
Screw you.
I feel like we're getting slightly rushed when it comes to the new Game of Thrones stuff. I feel like we've only got effectively 6 episodes until it's ended, maybe slightly more. I'm not sure. Is the next series going to be 5 or 6 episodes?
6 episodes.
Yes.
I read.
So 7 episodes left, and they've got a lot to get through, and I feel like we might be rushed, and I think that might take away from it slightly. Now, obviously, Dave said last time, and a few other people have mentioned that Littlefinger might get capped at the end of this episode. Next up,
we can only hope.
And I just don't think that's right. Just not because I've written a massive article about it and did a video and it's a really good theory, but because I think he's an amazing character, and for him just to get unceremoniously whacked, sort of, somewhere, just doesn't seem to sort of tie in with his character. I think, he hasn't been in it enough. I don't think he's not done enough at this moment in time to justify it. I think they need more expedition, for it to sort of happen, but
exposition.
Exposition, sorry. Exposition, sorry. Yeah, and I just feel that it's not sort of I think they're slightly rushing. I think they've kind of gone, okay, so we want to get this over and done with quickly. I thought personally they sort of want to be able to stretch it out a bit more, which they could have. I think they could have stretched it out more, but there we go. We've only got a series and 1 episode left.
I felt the death of Viserion in the last episode was unexpected, and I don't think the episode actually needed the death of a dragon, because obviously anybody who's read the book knows there's a bloody great big ice dragon in the wall.
Well, that's it, isn't it? So we've got, this is the thing that's going to sort of be interesting, how the book goes and how the series goes. Now, obviously,
forked, haven't they?
Yeah, they've forked a lot, and I think, obviously, from what I've been told, the ending's meant to be very similar, but they're going to have 2 different things. And like Dave said, I think it will definitely go, hopefully, the way I would like it to go in the books. But in the series, I just get the impression they're going to pussy out, and
They'll do an
for
alternate scene on the Blu-ray.
yeah, just a happy ending and stuff. And I really, really, really don't want there to be a sort of happy clappy ending. I want there to be something sort of
Blood drenched.
yeah, something interesting,
Something
you know.
upright.
Yeah, it's something that really, you know, I don't want. That was a good ending. I just want fucking hell. I want the internet to explode. I want people to go absolutely skits and you know not be able to go into work and stuff like that because they're so traumatized. You know, I want something epic.
Matt the Mad King wants them to burn. Burn them all.
Yeah, yeah. So well,
And then the moon fell on top of all of them. And they were squished.
yeah,
Yeah.
well.
Screw winter.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Okay, so last episode, what did we think in general? Pros and cons.
I really want Brienne of Tarth and
Tormund.
our Torrent to have big babies like he really wants. That's all I wish for him is to have very large babies with Tormund. After the way he was speaking about her to the Hound. Fuck off. Dick, cock. Ah, I like it. I bet you do.
Chad on YouTube has said a twist be a Littlefinger offering Sansa, take it all, or Jaime offering Cersei to take the throne. Now, Chad, Dave had mentioned this. I'm not sure if it was last week or it was the week before, but his sort of view was that Jaime is going to turn against Cersei, and it's going to be like a mirror from, you know, him killing the Mad King to killing his sister, basically. Like she's going to come up with some idea of, you know, I don't know, killing. You know, my view is there's still lots of dragon fire beneath the city, so there's lots of wildfire. Yes, sorry, beneath the city, and I think she might blow the shit out of it. You know, just because there is a thing in what's it called? When they're in the house of when Dany's in the house of the Undying, she walks through it and it's all destroyed. And the King's Landing's all destroyed. So the Red Keep's all destroyed, and it looks like it's snowing. And I don't think it's snow. I think it might be like ash.
Ash.
Yeah, ash. But that being said, Cersei, you know, she has so much hate for everybody. Like she really does not give a shit. That like I'd be half, sort of. I think I can't even think of the word. I'd be half guessed to say that she would even use the White Walkers if she could. Like she'd just go, right, you fuck these guys up at north, and then we'll finish you off. But then she wouldn't have any dragons and stuff. So who knows?
Yeah, Cersei using White Walkers. Yes, I can see that. She's already used her brother, so why not?
Well and truly used her brother. But there
Oh
we go.
yeah.
Chad says that's what I mean. Take her down either next week or the end of it all. I don't think Cersei's going to die until next season. If she does, well, she will, I think, but it won't be till next season. I don't think, and it will be Jaime probably. He'll do it, I think.
See, I'm half and half that. I'd like to see Cersei obviously die at the end of this season. Because then you've got the whole of next season then to go with, you know, the war of the Night's King, Dany actually fighting for control of King's Landing. Because don't forget, there's that, was it the mountain type Bane crossover that he's been imbued with poisons and crap to make him like superhuman or super undead. I'd actually see, and I think I see Cersei getting knocked off end of this series, I think.
No, I don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen because this is. I think the
You
next.
said rushed.
The next, I know it is rushed, but I just don't think she is quite a pivotal character, and for her to go at this season, I don't think would be wise, and I don't think HBO would do it.
They knocked off an entire house in the beginning of one episode.
I know, but I just don't think they would do it, even because at the minute it seems like they're keeping sort of the main characters now. They sort of kind of got through all your sort of, you know, secondary, tertiary, you know, characters, and they're just sort of keeping on with a few of them. I think with Cersei, she still has a big part to play in how things will turn out, and I think when they go down to see, when they're all going to go down to King's Landing in the next episode, the last episode, and they're all going to basically go, right, there you go, there's a White Walker, what are you going to do about it? And she's going to basically, I don't think she's going to give a shit, and I think she's actually going to think, okay, I can use these to my advantage to take out my enemies and stuff. And then I think that's where Jamie's going to start to kind of get a bit sort of like, wait a minute. He's basically going to have to weigh up his love between him and his sister, and obviously the child that they're going to have. And
if she's pregnant.
Westeros as a whole, so I just don't think Cersei's gonna. I think she's gonna last a bit longer.
I think she'd make the perfect going out on a shock. They build it up, and there's no way you can believe that they'll get rid of her now, and it'll be something. They'll build it all up. Some little aside she makes that just snaps Jamie, and it'll just drop on like her with like a sword sticking out of her chest or something, like coughing up blood, and it'll be like, well, shit, we've got to wait until the next season now. What happens?
Yeah,
she's got the same way the sun did.
Built up, and just dump you and fade to black, because that's everyone then probably is going to lose their nuts.
Star Wars.
And then they just kind of dangle things left, right, and centre, for a couple of months, and everyone turns up to see what happens next.
See, this is going to be it. It's going to be a big thing. I think at the end of it, it's going to be, like I've always said, it's going to be White Walkers either circumventing the wall or destroying the wall. We'll get through it, and it'll basically be their invasion of the North. That's how it's going to this season is going to end. They're going to have a big ass ice dragon now, obviously not from within the wall, but obviously the one that they've taken from Dany. And that's going to be it. It's going to be, last scene will be something along the lines of the wall falling and him and there's like that. I'm not sure if it's that photoshopped image of him on top of the wall, the Night King on top of the wall, on top of the dragon, something along those lines, and then that'll be it.
Well, this is the problem Dany faces now, with obviously Viserion being taken over by the Night's King. Are Drogon and Rhaegar going to actually fight their sibling?
Dave Irving says she will have a miscarriage. Jaime will turn on her after she betrays the realm, in my opinion. Interesting. There was some theories along those lines, but I think there's a general consensus that that Jaime will turn good in the end. The thing is, he was a bit of a. I'm not sure if I like the fact that he's turned from basically a guy who would throw a kid out a window to this like completely honourable. Oh, I'm a pretty good guy now. I just don't know if I get it.
Well, he's lost a hand, hasn't he? And kind of Brienne of Tarth kind of swayed him a little.
Yeah, even so, he's the sort of guy to throw a kid out the window. I don't think he really changed that much. Oh no, I'll throw you out the window, but I'm an honourable guy. So I don't know. There's also that fact is that Bran's gonna be like, dude, you threw me out a window, and I'm a fucking X-Man now. I can do whatever the hell I want. You just warg into him and chuck him out the window as well. He just whatever. Just
Bran's a descendant of Professor X. That's all we need.
I don't think personally that I don't think Jaime's going to survive it either, to be honest.
What, I think he's going to be dragon food.
Well, the thing is, it depends on how you want to look at it. If you want to keep all the main houses and you want to sort of have this sort of happy clappy ending, then fine, he will sort of survive it because they need a Lannister. But even though I suppose there's Tyrion,
yeah.
But I just think they've got to kill off a lot of characters.
I think Gendry's the wild card.
Yeah, but he'll be a Baratheon, won't he? He'll be like sort of bringing back the Baratheon sort of fold.
Well, yeah, his father was killed. His father fought a Targaryen, so he could actually look at Stanny saying, well, Baratheon, I've got a more claim to the throne than you have. So my father was on the throne first, and childish, schoolyard bollocks ensues, and he's going to turn out to be the wild card.
Well, I suppose you could have it that obviously he's a Baratheon. He fought his father fought Rhaegar, killed him, and then they find out that Jon Snow is a Targaryen, and not only a Targaryen, the son of Rhaegar, and he might kind of go, whoa, 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 wait a minute, and that might
slapping ensues.
But the thing is, there's lots of angles for this to go. There's lots of places where this can go. There's just not enough time for it all to pan out. Like they could have quite an elaborate, sort of little subplots going on that make it sort of get to the end. But because they've only got 7 episodes left, including the next series, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think it's going to be the 2 books. Obviously, we've got 2 books, which won't. Well, I don't even know when Winds of Winter's coming out. It was meant to be out ages ago. And
when it's done.
Yeah, when it's done, and then basically we're going to have to wait another 6 years for the Song of Summer to come out.
I know. I reckon what will happen is he's waiting for everyone to get through this. Then he's going to release both of them really close together, just because then everyone else will just go over one, and they'll have to get their head around something totally different and just laugh at you.
Look,
that's bound to happen.
Look on Facebook says, "Ciao, bitches. Why am I always watching this in the bath?" Well, look, that's an interesting question. Why are you watching 3 hairy men while you're in the bath? That's answers on a postcard. Yes. So yeah. So okay then, let's do this. So predictions for next week then. Mark, we'll start with you. What do you think?
Epic crescendo, huge build up. Everyone's waiting for something awesome to happen, and it'll be a total anticlimax, leaving everyone hanging. And I reckon Cersei's going to get it because it's been waiting for so long that it has to be something really anticlimactic, and yet horrible and dull, and everyone's sitting there going, "Whoa," because she's the only person that everyone really hates enough to make that sort of an impression now. And then they can build up a new villain next time round based on all these who's related to who.
Chad says from YouTube he says it's going to give a united front to the White Walkers for the last season. Jamie, in his mind, always be a hero in his story. Jamie, in his mind, always be a hero in his story. Yeah, he is. Don't get me wrong, he is, but he still threw a guy out a window. Threw a kid out the window.
They do say that no villain is truly a villain in his own mind.
Yeah, I like that saying.
Luke says it can't be as bad as the Walking Dead ending. Yeah, if it goes, if it goes Walking Dead, I am really going to be unimpressed. Now, if Game of Thrones had started doing that shit where you'd have a half decent sort of episode at the start, then lots of exposition in the middle with nothing really going on, and then a half decent one at the end, I'd be well pissed off. Not that even the last episode of Walking Dead was any good, to be honest. So yeah, I think a lot of people would be very upset if they just kind of went, "There's going to be a nah, we're not going to do that."
Gotcha.
Gotcha. You suckers. There you go. Okay, and Mr. Varney, what do you think?
Well, after the little conversation that Arya and Sansa had at Winterfell, I have a sneaking suspicion that something is going to happen to Arya in the last episodes. I don't know what it is, but my spidey sense has been tingling since I watched the episode last week, and then obviously again this Sunday just to recap everything. But I honestly think something is going to happen to Arya because of the standoffish conversation she had with Sansa. So that could be the twist that nobody will see coming, or the fact we could have the Night King on top of the wall, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, Negan just comes there with his back going, "I tell you what, a story named Prick, or was a prick who did no shit." That would be perfect in my eyes. But I think the relationship between Dany and Jon is going to reach its crescendo very soon, because the wonderful tender moment on the ship was quite nice, but I think everybody I was watching it with went, you're gonna fuck your auntie. Game of Thrones is fun for all the family, so might as well keep it in the family.
Yeah. Well, it's gotta look sky.
Yeah, well, lead by example, really, isn't it? Thank you, Cersei. But yeah, I think Arya is. Yeah.
Well, the Targaryens did sort of were sort of used to marrying their siblings. That sort of was one of their things. Hence why the Mad King was mad.
Mental.
Yeah, he was mental. Lucas said on Facebook, so Matt, how does your Littlefinger plot fit so far? I'd like to get the update. Well,
Right, me and Mark will just go for a coffee, and you just go.
I think I want it to happen, and I want him to sort of be at the end, sort of at the throne. But I just think what we were talking about Sansa and Arya. I just think Arya's playing the game, and I think partially maybe Littlefinger thinks he's playing them, but it's a trick or something like that. It's like, I don't want it to be. I want them to be super amazing and just sort of playing both of them. Like, they've got superpowers and he's just super smart and he's fucked with them and he sorts it out, and then he ends up in the last series fucking everybody up and ending up on the throne. But I've heard rumours that he's going to end it. He's going to be ended in the next season. Not next season, the next episode. And I really, really hope that's not true. If it does happen, I really hope he doesn't do it in the book. I hope he stays true, listens to Matt, and has him at the end. Because seriously, I want you to think about this. For anybody who's like watching this or listening to this now, yeah? If you have like him basically doing something really fucked up at the end and ending up on the throne, how messed up would that be? Everybody would just be like, what the fuck? Mind blown. And I just think that would be an amazing ending. If you just want to listen to my theory, it's on YouTube. Hopefully it won't be disproved as of next week, but it's there. But yeah, I think that's what Game of Thrones is about. It's about being something you don't expect, messed up, curveballs,
You can see the tweets going, fuck you, George R. R. Martin, fuck you.
Marco Minko, are you playing the game of faces with Sansa at the end of the trust her intention? That why she gave her that dagger. Right, okay. So yeah, basically she said about the lying, and obviously she, like Marco says, she trusts her now. With Bran, they will work together. They expose Littlefinger. Yeah, Bran obviously does know exactly what's going on, and he's been a bit quiet of late. So,
personally, I just want an entire episode of Bronn and Tyrion just getting drunk and catching up.
Yeah. Well, that hasn't been much.
They've already skipped that once. They filmed it for last episode and cut it out. So I just want like an entire episode of them just getting drunk in a pub, doing stupid things, catching up, taking the mickey, and screw it. That's one way to end the season. Let everyone else go on killing each other in the background. Beer and wenches. That's what it's all about. Beer and wenches.
The chat is right. YouTube comment here. Why keep Littlefinger around this long to have that ending for him? He has a huge part to play at some point. And you're right, chat. He does. He's literally being the puppet master. He has created every single death or fucked up moment in Game of Thrones has generally led back to him in some way, shape, or form. And I think for him just to suddenly go, make a mistake, and Arya to go, got you, and then sentence him to death, that just doesn't work for me at all.
Well, he started it all off for screwing Ned Stark, didn't he? This is
exactly
how it all started.
With the same knife. You see, that knife is very important. And that's why I think it should be at the end. That's why it should be at the end. I just don't think having him at the end of series sort of 7, it needs to be the last series. If he's going to die, make it the last series. I just don't think at the end of the series is a good place for him to go. He deserves more. More.
He deserves an awful lot, but I
So
don't think
when
he's get all of it.
no, he ain't gonna make it very far. He's gonna make it till I think the last 5 minutes of the next episode, and that's it.
I hope you're wrong. I hope everybody's wrong. I hope even all those rumors are wrong, even though they seem to have been quite true recently. I just don't want it to happen. I'll be very sad when we do this next episode, which will probably have to be on the actual night of the episode because Matt's going to Greece the next day. But yeah, Matt's going to be very upset. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Matt'll be moving on the plane.
So we're just going to get like muted sobs from you all the way through the podcast, yeah? Well, sorry, it's just Matt. Don't worry. You hit the right buttons. That's the important thing.
Marco from YouTube says, "For what? For Great War and Long Night exchanges information with Night King." Not 100% sure what you mean there, my man. Can you elaborate? Is that what are you talking about? Yeah, I don't understand what you're saying. I know. I appreciate the Long Night was the big battle between the White Walkers and the Children of the Forest and the First Men. Chaos is a ladder. Is no more than when the White Giant smashes that ladder in your head. Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I just. He's a good character. I just think, you need somebody like that. Then you still got Varys around, I suppose, but I reckon he's going to get popped off at some point. You got the Red Lady. She says, I'm going to die in this place, and so are you, basically. So, she's foreseen his death. Part of me kind of wants, right, this, and I'm not sure if David sort of mentioned it, where you have Dany, and she's all in love with Jon Snow, and they're all like super happy and stuff, and people are going, we're super happy, and then she finds out that he's actually a Targaryen and that he's the rightful heir to the throne, and then she goes all like, what the fuck, and she goes all like, mad, and then just fucking kills everybody.
Finds out she's pregnant, and then gets,
and then she turns into like the Mad Queen, like the Mad King, but she just becomes mental. And it's just like, you can tell she's going a bit power mad at the minute, but she's been kept sort of balanced by Tyrion and the love for Jon Snow. But part of me kind of wants her to go, or even like again, Dave said it last week, where Sansa sort of just actually, was it Dave? I'm not sure it was actually, but Sansa, basically fucks shit up. And then they're all at this big banquet at the end, and Sansa basically claps her hands, and it's like basically the Red Wedding over again.
I said that.
Yes, that's it. Sorry, yeah, that's it. Josh, you said it, where it's the Red Wedding.
It was the sadistic twat who said that.
Yeah. That's good. That's a good one. I find that rather amusing. That would be like, oh my god. As long as something like that happens, as long as we get an ending where it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't want resolution. I want, holy shit, what the fuck just happened? I've got no more of these left. I'm very upset right now. I want one of those endings.
I see the only way Dany's probably going to snap, and I mean completely and fully snap, is if something happens to Sajora and another dragon, and that will probably just send her over the edge.
Possibly. Yeah, it could be like if she loses one more of her friends, she might just kind of go, fuck this.
And one more of her children. Let's not forget her children.
Oh, yeah, one of her children.
Yes.
The Chad says, I don't know, I just don't think what would be a good cliffhanger compared to Cersei getting killed next week. Sorry, this is... Right.
It could end and then have Rick waking up in the hospital.
Yeah. Yes, it could.
That'll really fuck with everyone.
That's why it's good. We could still get many different ways to this point. Marco Minto says, don't get me wrong, I like Littlefinger, but I can't see how he'll survive. Just look what has done in the North since Jon left. Yeah, he is sort of... instigating a bit of rebellion, And I guess that will come back to bite him in the ass. But John's going to be down in King's Landing, so it's going to be down to Arya and Sansa. And if Arya is onto him, he's fucked, basically, isn't he? Yes.
But then they've been quite flexible about this whole geography thing recently, so
Yes.
he could just pop round the corner and nip up there, behead him, and nip back home again.
Yeah, that is the thing, man. Right? That, and I read an article today, and it was like 10 questions you want to ask about the last episode of Game of Thrones, and it was like, you know, things I was asking at the time, like basically the Night King's standing there with this big fuck off javelin, yeah, and he's got this massive target of Drogon in front of him who he could throw this at. Nope, no, doesn't go for that dragon. Goes for the flying target, which is going to be harder to hit. He was just showboating, wasn't he? He was just kind of going, yeah, fuck this shit. I'm going to do this, you know, throw it in the air. And it's just like, could have got for the easy one. And then the second time he's like, okay, I'll throw it at the one because it's moving now and I'm not good a shot. And then there's a bit where like John's all like, you know, I don't even know why. I can understand him maybe sort of kind of not getting on the dragon to hold the White Walker's back, but he kind of just sort of looks, goes over, strolls a bit, and then starts fighting, and it's just like, what are you doing? Why?
Get the fuck out of there.
It was just like, it felt like it's like, we need Jon Snow to be over here in the ice so it works for us, because if he's over there it doesn't. And it's like, it was just really like, what are you doing? It
Maybe they just filtered out the DP sitting in one corner going, no, your mark's over there. Yeah,
So
move to the right.
Did everybody do the exact same thing as the Hound did when throwing the pebbles, and one lands on the ice, skids across, and does nothing? Because I think everybody around the world just went, fuck, at the exact same time he did.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
It was a slow walk, and then it was kind of a running pace, and I think everybody immediately knew, why the fuck were you throwing stones, you absolute idiot? I mean, we just tempting fate. It's like literally poking a ravenous dog. It's like, oh shit.
I want to know where they got the chains from. I want to know where they got those big ass chains from.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's not like it's a hardware store just round the corner. Just, you know, chains for sale.
It's like, it's like, oh guys, get the dragon-sized chains from the luggage. You know, those 4 massive chains that we've been carrying around with us just in case a dragon crashes into some ice. You know, get those chains. And it's just like, but then it's just like, okay, well maybe they made them, but then it's like, can whites make weapons? And you know, it just seems a bit strange that, you know, for a series that has been so good at sort of explaining things, and in the books he explains a lot, it's just like suddenly these just big ass chains sort of pulling a dragon out of the water, and you know, people like Gendry seems to be able to sprint
great distances.
A great distance in a single night. And, you know, it just, yeah, it's, they're really, it seems like they're rushing things quite substantially at this moment in time.
I mean, we don't know. I mean, if we had like a huge like Google Earth, you know, Google Westeros map, and if you zoomed in really closely where they were, there could be a trading post just round the corner, you know. The Night's King just walked in and this guy was going, hoo-hoo, big summer blowout, chains.
Yeah. Yeah. Luke says on Facebook, yeah, it seems rushed now, total shame. And I think we've got a chat between Marco and Chad in the other chat, so I'll leave them to it so they can chat away. Marco says the chain is not an issue. The chain is, Marco. The chain is, come on. The chain is an issue. The chain is, they just got it from nowhere. It's like, it's, you know, they were just carrying that shit around with them. You know, I could maybe understand if they'd sort of like, it looked like it was made of ice or something, and it's like, well, they are sort of ice zombies. Maybe they did that, but it was just like some big chains, and it was just like, well, you know, come on.
See, Game of Thrones is getting far more Walking Dead than I like now with ice zombies. What the fuck is next? Fire zombies, dragon zombies. Oh wait, we've got a dragon zombie. Great. Direwolf zombies next. Fucking great.
Wolf zombie. I kind of feel that the reason they had the polar bear, the zombie polar bear, was to say, we've got the zombie polar bear just to show you that, animals can get turned into zombies. So, if any sort of, dragons were to die, then maybe they turn into a zombie as well. So, we'll see.
I felt that was very staged, like some kind of product placement was just put there. It's like, look, zombie polar bear.
Right. Chad says that Marco was saying they got them from the Wildling village. Right, okay, we'll go with that. If they got the chains from the Wildling village, what the hell were those... wait a minute. You know what, he says that we'll scroll up here, because maybe I'm missing parts of their conversation. Okay, alright, we'll give them this. Marco says the Wildling village giants used them to attack the wall. Now, I can't remember. Did they use the big chains to attack the wall?
I can't remember them having... I thought they scaled the wall.
No, because I think when the Wildlings did attack the wall, maybe they'd used them to pull the doors through. Possibly. Alright, okay. Alright, okay. Chad and Marco. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that. It's a possibility. It could be that they got them from the Wildling village. But
why bring them?
Actually, saying that, I was going to sit there, but why would they have them? But if they were going to try and destroy the wall, then maybe they would use them to sort of break down the wall as well. But then it's sort of kind of, I don't know.
But the Night's King has already touched Bran, so they can actually walk through the wall.
Well, that's it. Well, he can. It seems like the Night King can literally do whatever hell he wants. He's just like, I can walk through fire. I can walk through anything I want. I can do whatever hell I want. Where the other guys are like, what about us? Is it
What they can't do is swim.
Yeah. But they can sort of kind of, drown. And well, they're not even drowning. They sort of kind of walk along the bottom, and then, bones aren't very dense. Bones can sort of kind of float, so they'll be all right.
They're wearing clothes and heavy gear. They're going to sink.
Chad's being very gracious here. Says, all Marco, nothing to do with me, just agreeing. Okay. Good one, Marco. Wendy King, again on YouTube. Got a lot more YouTube ones today. They used the chains for the mammoths to pull the gate of the wall. Wendy, you are right. They did. So that is a potential. Okay, all right. We've got one question answered. Some good geeking out there, ladies and gents. Wendy and Marco, good job. I'll buy into that. That works for me.
And Wendy's just brought on new problems. Zombie mammoths.
Zombie mammoths. The worst sort of zombies. The zombie mammoths.
Zombie mammoths. Either zombie dragons.
Yeah, or zombie dragons. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'll be interested to see how many of Danny's dragons survive by the end of this.
How big they're going to get as well.
I think that's them full size now. I think that's
no, because the Mad King's dragon, the skull that's underneath the actual throne room, is 3 times the size of what Drogon is.
True.
So, are they going to get any bigger?
We'll see. I think we'll have to see. Chad says, if Rick is coming to Westeros, does that mean zombie dragons are getting to be in The Walking Dead? That was some serious crossover shit going on.
Who put the wrong disc in the special effects machine?
Marco says from YouTube again, issue for me is who's diving to hook up the dragon? Yeah, okay, right, okay, Marco, yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so the chains we can explain, but who's the diving crew? He's
the walkers that have already gone through the water.
I know, but it's like, yeah.
Night King can talk to all the White Walkers, remember? Because there's like this unspoken telepathic link between all of them. So he's like a sadistic Mr. Sinister, but ice zombie.
Ice zombie. He's got a bit of a weird face. You're kind of like you got a bit of a strange face there, buddy. I know it's made of ice, but it just seems a bit weird. Don't know what it is.
It's like a watermelon. You just want to poke.
Yeah. Something like that. Right. So has anybody got any sort of prediction? I think we sort of had some predictions on how it's going to end a couple of weeks ago. But Mark, what do you think? How do you think it's all going to end?
I think they're gonna cop out a little bit in the end, and there'll be a semi-tragic, sort of happy, hollow ending. But how they balance it out, God knows. But let's be honest, they're gonna kill a bunch of people in the meantime.
I'm just hoping, because generally HBO series, people are things, bad stuff happens. It's never an ending that sort of like is sort of. It doesn't give you full closure. It always ends with more questions. So I'm kind of hoping they'll stick with that, and they'll be sort of a bit more of a like, oh shit, what happens next? But you never know. They might kind of just bow to public pressure and give in and just have a nice wedding, a la Game of Thrones, and have Jon and Dany sort of standing there, all like waving and stuff, and sitting on the throne together.
Boom, wildfire.
Boom, wildfire. Yes, there. That's what we're talking about.
Matt's happy.
They could go for the outraged right-wing thing and have Cersei and Dany on the throne together.
Wow, yeah, that's right. I didn't. Ooh, yes.
There's a quagmire in the room going giggity giggity.
Hey man, geeking yet?
Well, she has proved she'll do pretty much anything for power so far.
That's true, but we also have what's his name? Euron still around. And in the books, I think he's got the Horn of Summer, so he can control dragons and stuff. So yeah, it's all going to be interesting. I just want him to get the next book out so I can read up and see what the hell, how he's, where the divergences are going and how things are going to happen.
I feel that we've also skipped over a certain pair that have been locked up in a dungeon, which Cersei gave a lovely kiss to.
Yeah.
And we've not seen them for a couple of episodes, and I'm kind of wondering what the hell is happening to the Martells.
I think they're just going to leave it as that. I think it's just going to be leave it up to your imagination. It's going to be she's going to die, and let pretty much your woman Martell's going to Ilaria. Is it Ilaria?
Yeah.
Ilaria. No, is it actually
the daughter or the mother?
The mother.
My memory's gone blank.
I'm sure somebody in the comments will pick up something.
Yeah, somebody will educate us. Yes.
Yeah. Well, and obviously, if Dany and Jon sort of getting the power and getting that, then obviously she can be freed, but her daughter will be basically bones by then. But if she doesn't, that's her basically in that cell forever.
This could be the twist now that you're talking about it. We could have infiltration in King's Landing, and they could free the mother, and she's the one who kills Cersei.
Thanks to Marco, we've got Ilaria. That's it, Ilaria.
Thank
you. Look on Facebook, as poetic as ever. Lads, have a great night. I'm off to wash my balls. Thanks, Luke. I appreciate that. Got a really nice image in my head right now. It's never going to go away.
I can't look at a whistle ever again.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh, so we got another week, and kind of part of me, as much as I like
wants a leak,
yeah.
You want a leak?
I want to know if my man Littlefinger's going to get offed or not. And just it's just, as much as I really don't want it, and I was really sure it wasn't going to happen, but after last week, I'm just a bit more like, and more people keep on saying that it's going to happen, and people kind of said it's in the leaks, he's going to die, and I was like, really, is it, or is that just people bullshitting me? And I'm just like, fingers crossed that he's going to survive.
You're saying if someone sends you the link for a leaked version of it, you're going to be all over it, aren't you? You're going to be like a crack addict in the corner.
Big time, man. Like, I didn't when the leak for the last one came out, I was trying to justify. It's like, no, I'm going to watch it on the big screen. And then like 5 minutes later, I went on my phone. I was literally in traffic. When I was like in middle of traffic, I was in the traffic jam. I was watching it and shit. And I was like, and then watched it again when I got home just to make sure I didn't miss things. But
So if anybody
Oh,
on
dear.
HBO is actually listening, if you want to help a brother out, comment, please.
Wendy King, is that a fingers crossed for a leak or a fingers crossed from a man, little finger surviving to the end? Please say it's for the little finger. Go and get you one of these. A bro fist. A PewDiePie bro fist. There you go.
Oh, don't stain this podcast with that name.
Too late. Too late.
Get unclean, shame.
Shame. What has Wendy King said? She says, if, that's it. There's nothing else there. Have you forgotten to put something else in there, Wendy? Anyway. I'm quite impressed with the comments we had. We had our quite a few from YouTube this time round, which is good. Okay, so before we sort of like mosey on, has anybody else got anything else they want to say about Game of Thrones?
I'm anticipating a leak.
You're anticipating a leak. Wendy King, it's not an IF, it's an LF for Littlefinger. Good girl. Thank you very much. Bro fist. Get one of those.
Well, if Littlefinger does get offed in the last episode, a lot of the Game of Thrones con goers will be very happy because he'll be doing the circuit again. Yay! Boo! Fucking hell!
Yeah. Marco says I leaked myself before I got spoiled for recommended videos on YouTube's. So
that's what adult diapers are for.
yeah, man. You might want to get that shit checked out. I think I understand. Obviously, he's you want to. I was of the same view that if I don't watch this soon, my Facebook's just going to be exploding with people making sort of little half-hour sort of
sly
comments, which was going to ruin it for me. And as much as I'm not that bothered about spoilers and things, I was like, right, I'm just going to watch it. Just going to watch that shit. But yeah, okay. So anybody got anything else they want to say before we wrap this one up? Slightly shorter than the last ones, simply because Matt has a splitting headache because he's on one of these stupid diets you probably should never do. But, you know, gotta get the gun show in order. Bow.
You'll be happy to know that I started watching Rick and Morty.
Yes! Okay, what episode are you on?
Episode 3 of season 1.
Snowball. Are you on with Snowball, or is that episode 2?
Snowball, yes.
Where are my testicles, Summer? I love that line. It tickles me so much. Where are my testicles, Summer?
I'm just watching it and going, honestly, what the fuck am I watching?
It's amazing.
And I'm sticking with it because I'm hoping to God this has got to pay off. It's got to pay off.
What do you mean? It's got to pay off. It's already paid off.
It's really not. It's like having a prostate exam from Edward Scissorhands.
What?
It takes me a while to get into things. For fuck's sake, it took me nearly 10 years to start watching Bones.
I still haven't watched Bones, but yeah. Rick and Morty's amazing, man. Literally, I don't understand why if you've watched one episode you didn't watch all of them. Like me and like Sean and Daniel, when we watched them, we watched like the whole 2 series nearly back to back.
Because I have Assassin's Creed and it's like, yay! This is so much better use of my time.
Assassin's Creed is one of the most overrated games ever.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I just have no interest in that game whatsoever. It just does nothing for me at all. There you go. There you go, Josh. There you go.
I'm Matt Geary. I sit down and paint models and play with dice and go, yay! Fuck you.
And I get victory. And victory. That's it. Second in a Warhammer 40k tournament. Second. I don't think I even deserve to come second because I lost my second game. But because I think I had nicely painted models, that gives you more points. So yeah, there you go. So can't go for
it. We get it.
Yeah, got to take a win when you get it. So yeah, there you go.
Can we mention we'll be having a very special interview coming up soon on our channel?
Oh yes, we do. We've got fuck. Both names have gone out of my head now. Whoa! Don't tell me! Johnny Rico. Yeah, Johnny Rico and
Casper Van Dien.
Shastra Van Dien. Yeah. So yeah, we've got an interview with that. Mr. Orvis is taking that one for us, hopefully, because Matt will be in Greece. And then we've got that giveaway as well. Actually, we've got another giveaway after this one's finished for the vodka.
Yes, we've got the Alien Stompers first. I think that ends the end of this month. We've got the Icelandic vodka signed by Hafthor, the Mountain himself.
Yeah.
And we may even have some Starship Troopers, Traitor of Mars goodies to give away as well.
Bam, 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 pow.
So Josh has earned his ice cream again for the fucking week.
That's a lot of ice cream.
Oh man, Ben and Jerry's can suck it at the moment. I'm dying.
Don't talk about Ben and Jerry's. Matt might finally crack.
Oh yeah, I'm going in that direction. I have to say, right, for anybody who does, like, I'm on this thing. It's called the keto diet, and it's sort of like bodybuilders and things do it. And I'm trying to sort of like lean some of the fat down, sort of get myself into sort of trim, looking good. And it means not zero carbs, but you're literally on about 20, 30, 50 max grams of carbohydrates. And the thing is, everything has carbs in it. The only thing you can eat is like you can eat meat and you can eat fish and you can eat like eggs and stuff, which is fine. It all sounds good because you're like, oh, I love those things. They're really good. But then you're like, but I love bread and I love potatoes and even veg has carbs in it. And I sat there, right, and I was like, I'm being really good. I'm eating blueberries, nom 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 nom, eating these blueberries. Oh yeah, it's fucking like 20 grams of carbs in a 200 gram pack.
Sugar.
And I was just like, oh, what the fuck.
Fructose and fructose and fructose and fructose and bugger.
Yeah, so I'm just like literally walking around the shops trying to find things. Like I find myself doing it. I'm in Manchester, so I'm sitting there at lunchtime walking around Tesco's and Market Street going, right, what am I going to go to get? And I do it every time. I go up to like the yogurts or something like that and try to hope, like fingers crossed, that one of these yogurts might have miraculously have like minimal carbs in it or something. Like sitting there, turn around, no, still 20 grams,
Dairy fat with fructose. You're screwed.
Yeah. Basically, Matt, your lunch is ice cubes and water and...
Yeah, well, the thing is, you're meant to have lots of water with it, because you get a thing called keto flu, which I'm getting. Is basically you feel ill and you feel like massive headaches. I've had a huge headache today.
Diet should make you feel like this, though.
It shouldn't. That's the problem. Then that's what's getting to me. Like I've got a mate who's done it, and he's done really well. He's lost a lot of weight, and he seems to swear by it. It just doesn't seem to agree with me, and I've been doing it, pretty strictly for a long time now. By a long time I mean a week. I've been doing it for a week now, and I've been going to the gym, and I'm just feeling wrecked all the time, shattered, and just cranky and just not happy with it. And I've just keep on going.
We've kind of gone through now into the good bit.
Yeah,
the system's kind of gone over to proper ketosis, and
that's what I thought.
Burning fat off.
That's what I thought. But obviously not for Matt, and unless I've sort of done myself a mischief somewhere and it's pushed me back in, and I have no idea. I don't know.
Maybe you're the half secretly putting spoonfuls of sugar into your water just to keep you quiet, not realizing it's actually totally screwing you.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it's literally whatever's happening is pushing me back, and then I'm just feeling ill all the time and stuff. So I think what's going to happen is I'll push it for a bit longer, give it maybe until I'm on holiday, and then I'll just go back to eating. I'll go into the gym a bit more and eating less. Do it that way.
I've been on Slimmer's World for over a year, and it's great. It's fucking awesome. I mean, I've dropped 2 jean sizes. I've dropped a t-shirt size. I'm no longer, gasping for breath every time I run after my children. And I love it. I think it's great. It's, nice and easy, slow and steady wins the race, that kind of scenario, but can't go wrong.
Yeah, man, if it works for you, go for it. Oh, good. Looks back and he says, "Turns out I have small balls. What did I miss? Why has this turned into an episode of Loose Women?"
He's missing big balls.
Yeah, he's missing big balls.
Just to get back onto geeky stuff, I'm just going to ask the obvious question: Defenders. Did you watch it? What do you think?
Yeah, Defenders. Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Loved it.
We had to mention it. Let's be honest. We have to have our geek cards in, otherwise.
I liked it, but I would rank it after. I would say Daredevil first, Jessica Jones second, Defenders third, Cage fourth, and Iron Fist last.
Sucking at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like super shit. It just.
It was a starting point.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Yeah, Chad says it was Defenders was all right. It had a weak ending.
Highlights then. Let's go for highlights. What was the highlight of the series?
The thing is, you know what gets me is that in the Daredevil series, both series of Daredevil, one with the Punisher, one, the first one, the fight scenes were amazing. They're very sort of intense. They're very sort of well choreographed. It didn't seem to be that way. It
hasn't a focal point anymore. They're trying to keep flicking backwards and forwards between all 4 or 5 of them, if you throw in Elektra as well. And so you get a bit of this maneuver, a bit of that, and you get the crossovers and all that, but it feels like it's not able to really get a flow going because it's from the left to the right, to the left to the right. Yeah. When they have smaller fight sequences with just 1 or 2 of them, that kind of feels back to that idea where you've got the flow to it. The moment they get to 3 or 4 people and it spreads out more than about, I don't know, maybe 20 foot apart, like the big scene at the end, before everything goes to hell, it starts to become just, it sort of spreads out and goes mushy because there's too many things going on at once and they can't keep track of it.
Well, I think that's the same with any film where you have multiple sort of big characters in it. You lose out on a lot because they're trying to focus on, too many things at once, basically. And yeah, I think Luke says, why the fuck are they not running with Daredevil? And they should just do a third Daredevil. That being said, the Punisher series, there was a Punisher teaser at the end of Defenders.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, that should be, fingers crossed, super amazing.
We can all appreciate the one scene where everybody's talking about Luke and Jessica and Iron Fist, but then as soon as somebody mentions Daredevil, everybody just kind of shuts up, turns around, and in tandem shits themselves. I thought you've got a guy who's blind, who dresses up like something out of a carnal comic, a guy who's got unbreakable skin, a really strong woman, and basically a living weapon, and everybody freaks out about the guy who can't see. Great.
I just don't think Jessica Jones did too. She just seemed to be slightly stroppy. I know the whole thing is she's not being trained to fight; she's just super strong. But it's I think they could have given her a bit more. I
don't know. I think she had she had a few really good bits. That the bit in the restaurant where she just wanders, where she storms off, then just steps in and just lobs the car in, and says, "Yeah, okay, I came back. I changed my mind."
But that's what Jessica is. That's her early years in the Alias series. She's supposed to be a stroppy little bitch. She's dependent on alcohol. She doesn't like working for a living, but she does the job when she has to, and if she feels that it's a necessity, that and the fact that she's still got a wink from Luke Cage doesn't go amiss.
Coffee?
Yeah, basically, yeah, coffee.
I think
I was watching it going, you're gonna have his baby.
Oh, does that happen in the comic books?
Yeah, they've got a kid together. They've got a little girl.
Oh, what about Night Nurse? Because I'm obviously not a massive comic book nerd. So
Squirrel Girl's their nanny, isn't she?
Yes.
In one of the things they hire from the Westlake Avengers.
Yes.
Please tell me they're going to give that role to John Barrowman, because with that cosplay.
That would be amazing.
Amazing.
Well, you know,
God.
it would be amusing.
Just see John Barrowman walking in going, let's have a gay off.
Do you know that they're thinking? I'll speak English now. Apparently, Kilgore's meant to be Kilgrave. Sorry, yeah, Kilgrave's meant to be back. Kilgore.
Yes.
Who's Kilgore? Kilgore's in. What's Kilgore?
Sounds like a Spawn character.
No, Kilgore's in something. He's like a drill sergeant or something. Sergeant Kilgore.
Yeah, I recognise the name. I can't remember where from though.
Somebody's gonna have to think about this in the comments. But yeah, Kilgrave's meant to be back in the next series.
Well,
And
they
I'm
know
not
that
sure.
Tennant's in there, but he's wearing the same sort of suits in the things they've said they've done. So the theory is it's still flashbacks because she's still kind of working out all her issues, possibly by beating people's faces against walls because this is Jessica Jones, of course.
Matt, Kilgore is Robert Duvall's character in Apocalypse Now.
Yes, that's it. I love this. Brilliant. That's it. Kilgore, brilliant. I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
I was thinking, I know that name. Where the fuck? I just looked at it going, Apocalypse Now. Oh, hang on. I just check it. It goes, yeah, Lieutenant Kilgore. I thought, motherfucker.
Yeah, there you go. Brilliant.
I think the biggest letdown for the whole thing was probably the fact that they had Sigourney Weaver as the big bad, and every time she was on there, she was basically kick-ass Sigourney Weaver, wearing clothes and waiting for them to write her a decent fucking villain. I'm sorry, but it just came across as that. You know, she was basically just, yeah, I'm really cool and really old, and you felt that gravitas, but you never really felt like it was actually for me, it never really felt like she actually had a proper evil plan going on. You know, she was just kind of floating around in and out, waiting for someone to do what Elektra did. Almost, you know. And you've got all 5 fingers of the hand wandering backwards and forwards, and half the time they just seem to be waiting for the other characters to come along to pick a fight. And then in between, they were just having loose women moments, bitching at each other.
While eating Chinese food.
Yeah. Luke says that Kilgore's Al Gore's evil twin, who he loves pollution. Very good. Very good. All right. Okay. We've been on for about an hour and 10, so we're probably going to leave it there. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Especially on YouTube. We got a lot more comments from YouTube this time around. So we should be on next week after the end of the last episode of Game of Thrones. It might have to be straight after the episode so Matt can be a part of it. Because he's going away the next day. But yeah, so keep an eye out on Facebook for updates and such. And yeah, so thanks very much, guys. I've been Matt Geary.
I've been Josh. Be excellent to each other.
And I continue to be Mark.
Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot. Night.
Bye.
Night.